Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me tonight for the February 2nd edition of Tone's Take, where I talk about the news and such things that interest me, and you all just get to sit back and listen. I wish you all would actually contribute and engage. Yeah, that would be a lot more fun than just having me talk to my phone for 15 to 20 minutes, but so be it. I said I was going to vlog once a day, and I'm going to do that. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about what is trending on YouTube. Is the a father of a bunch of girls that were abused by Nassar, Larry Nassar, the pedophile, the monster that attacked so many females, and was has been pretty much protected up until now, is finally getting his just desserts, so to speak. This article from Reuters, I'm sure it's all over the news. Like I said, it's also on YouTube. Basically goes into saying the enraged father of three daughters who were sexually abused by Larry Nassar lunged at the former USA Gymnastics national team doctor and tried to attack him during a sentencing hearing in a Michigan courtroom on Friday. So they've got this video, so I want to play some of it. So let's just listen in. I mean, it gets pretty intense.
My sisters and I years ago. I have known Larry Nassar for most of my life. He once was someone I had always trusted.
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
So here you can see the father visibly disgusted, and he says, allow me just 5 minutes to be locked in a room with this demon. And we already know what that pretty much means. He wants to get locked in the room so he can pretty much pummel the guy. I mean, Larry Nassar looks like a weak guy. He's got glasses on. He looks like Millhouse 30 years from now, even though technically Millhouse should already be an adult. But this would be Millhouse Van Houten from The Simpsons if he was all grown up. That's Larry Nassar, basically. Not saying Millhouse will become Larry Nassar, but I mean, come on, he can't even get Lisa Simpson, so we know he's going to grow up with some issues. And his parents just can't seem to stay together. Luann and Kirk just have issues, and it's just terrible. Millhouse has had a terrible childhood, so it's probably guaranteed he's going to be a monster of some sort. And that's probably Larry Nassar. Anyway, so Larry Nassar, again, he looks weak. I'm pretty sure that this dad would not be saying that if Larry Nassar was like some sort of hulking, monstrous, 260-pound, if he looked like The Rock, I'm pretty sure this father would not be saying that. So part of me says, great job, Dad, sticking up for your girls, making these threats and all this thing and all this stuff. But come on, we all know that you're only doing this because Larry Nassar is this weak guy, and I would actually be surprised if he was locked in the room and say Larry Nassar knew like some sort of jujitsu and then kicked his dad's father. But that's beyond the point. Let's get back to the video. So keep talking, Dad. So he says he wants 5 minutes alone with him. The judge, of course, denies that request.
I have a
Would you do
feeling.
that?
That is not how
Yes or
our.
no?
No, sir, I can't.
Would you
do
give me
that.
1 minute?
And here's one thing. He's like pestering the judge. So this guy, I'm not trying to argue against the father, but if you know anything about the court system, if you know anything about the justice system, you know that the judge is going to say no. Don't pester a judge. It doesn't matter if you are in the right. If you know that the worst thing has happened to your family, Nassar's already been sentenced. We know he's going to jail. These are further formalities that are happening, rightfully so, to allow these women, these girls that have been abused, to further speak out and possibly add even more years to his already, 125 some year sentence. So why this father doesn't know what this is, why he's even asking, is beyond me. And so part of it seems like, he's just doing it to grandstand as a gesture. So he continues.
I, you know that I can't do that. That's not how our.
So he asks for 1 minute, and the judge again rebuts and says, no, I'm not going to even give you 1 minute. It's not possible. The judge probably is like, I would love to. She probably wants to say that, but she legally can't say that. So she does her best job to keep this guy, to help this guy to understand what's possible and what's not possible. And then this happens. Dude! No! No! He really lunged out, and here's poor Nassar. You can see his orange suit. Let me just rewind it a little bit if I can. See if we can just go back a little bit.
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system
Well, I'm gonna
works.
So here's a better one, because I can freeze it here. You can kind of see there's like a cop that jumps up onto the table protecting Nassar, and another cop that already comes in to tackle the guy. I mean, this is just crazy. Dude, I know you're trying to protect your daughters, but that should have been done. Ugh, it's so hard a long time ago, you know? And that was part of his disappointment. So let me just play the rest of this, and I'll talk about, more about protecting his daughters. I don't want to leave it there. So they get Nassar out of there, of course. Like, the dad is visibly enraged, and rightfully so. I think any father, any person who knows that this happened to one of their family members will want nothing more than to rip Larry Nassar's head off. I mean, that's... And of course the police, they're like, yeah, if this happened to us, we probably want to do the same thing.
This is letting him have this power over us, okay? She will come out and tell you this. I don't want to see another parent get arrested or put handcuffs on or a victim. We cannot behave like this.
And now, with round...
So, yeah, at the end of that, basically, I'm not sure who that was speaking at the end, but she's basically like, look, we can't behave like this. We cannot devolve into the sort of monster that Larry Nassar is. We cannot become, we just can't. There's already enough monsters out there. We have to stay and stand above all this. So the father, whose name is Randall Margraves, was nearly within striking distance of Nassar before officers tackled him to the floor in front of shocked spectators, including his daughters. The judge later accepted Margraves' explanation that he lost control of his emotions and said she would not punish him. The chaotic scene began minutes after sisters Lauren and Madison Margraves had concluded tearful victim statements on the second day of the sentencing hearing in Eaton County, following similar presentations by scores of other women, which we've known some, including the Olympic medalists from the most recent Olympics, through previous court sessions. So, of course, Nassar has already been sentenced up to 175. I said 125, so sorry there. 175 years in prison for his guilty plea in neighboring Ingham County to molesting young women under the guise of medical treatment. He is scheduled to receive an additional sentence on Monday for his guilty plea to related charges in Eaton County. So pretty much every Michigan county is just like saying, okay, our turn. We got to sentence him as well. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So I can see why, a father would feel this way. Any family member would feel this way. I mean, yes, emotions get the best of you, but man, you got. I mean, he could have easily been arrested. I'm pretty sure there's some law out there that could have put this father in jail, and he would have gone to jail for no reason. He would have had a record for no reason, and all because of this. So I did want to find, there was on YouTube, the guy, he kind of apologized later on. Let's see if I can just find it real quick. Apologizes, and it'll kind of get into what he kind of meant, or what I kind of meant when I said he let's go to Associated Press, youtube.com. I know the AP will have it. Associated Press. Let's see here. Associated Press, of course, is great for like just really quick news clips. So here it is, the quick 1-minute clip of the father.
I want to make it real clear that I am no hero. My daughters are the hero. That I believe in God Almighty. Clear that I am no hero. My daughters are the heroes, and all the victims and the survivors of this terrible atrocity. When I had to hear what was said in those statements, and I have to look over at Larry Nassar shaking his head, that's when I lost control.
And you can see the daughters here in this video as they kind of recount what happened. The daughters and the mother, they're kind of like, they probably know their dad is, you know, the type to go off the hinge. I mean, just looking at how the mom is even looking at her husband, she's probably hoping in her heart of hearts that he doesn't do anything crazy. And the daughters are kind of like, Dad, please sit down, don't embarrass us. Yeah, he continues.
I'm not advocating that everyone
And you can
should
see
do that.
Nassar gets carried out.
Remorseful, very apologetic. I was embarrassed. I will tell you that I believe in God Almighty. I believe in heaven and hell. And I can only hope when the day comes that Larry Nassar has ended his days on this earth, that he will be escorted to one of the deepest, darkest, hottest pits in hell there is.
And so that was that. Yeah, just again, pretty crazy. This guy just let his emotions get the best of him. I don't condone it, even though I probably would have wanted to do the same thing. But one of the things was, you know, that the dad basically felt terrible because he said, you know, this destroyed his daughters. He said he didn't feel the same connection to them, and he had always wondered why. So basically, he said, Margrave said his relationship with his daughters had long been strained, distant, and difficult. Now I know the main reason. The reason was Larry Nassar. Now I have to deal with the fact that I failed to protect my daughters, he added. And so that's what I was kind of talking about before, where, you know, he kind of feels this sense that he can protect them now by, you know, attacking this guy and trying to brutalize him. And now it's too late. I mean, it's unfortunate and it's sad, but, you know, Nassar took so much innocence away. And he undermined a system of trust and respect that parents place into these people, into doctors that are supposed to be respected, and into the associations in which these doctors work, like the U.S. Olympic Committee, like Michigan State, and so many institutions that are there and supposed to be in place. Even the Michigan State Police had to come out and say they apologized because there was a girl that came to them and they didn't believe her. I mean, all these institutions just failing people, and these are institutions that we trust. It makes you think, who can you really trust out there? These days, if no one is, if everyone's just gonna believe, you know, the guy that's got the doctor in front of his name, or the guy that's got, you know, the letters at the end of his name, and not believe someone if they come forward, and not do them the justice of doing more investigation, and, you know, telling other people and pulling someone out of their position until the investigation is complete, so they at least don't have access to hurting other people, then we're failing everyone. And it's sad that this father feels like he failed his daughters, but I don't think he did. It's hard. You want to be able to talk to your kids and ask them, hey, how are you doing? What happened? And I guess this is just a lesson to be like, don't trust your kids with anybody. I mean, that's the bottom line. And again, I keep talking about this in a lot of my videos. I have, you know, these two young girls, and I'm just like, I'm seeing all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, got to be a helicopter parent. You got to be like every step of the way. You almost wish you could have just like a comm link when they go to school, a comm link, you know, wherever they go, like just a video feed, just something, so that you can at least have some sort of sense that things are all right, you know. And it's like, yeah, he's a God-fearing man, I'm a God-fearing man too, but if someone's trying to hurt your kids, like, how do you stop that from happening? And then it becomes so ingrained in kids not to say anything. They feel this guilt or this embarrassment. How do you teach that? You know, how do you teach them to stand up, other than saying, look, if anyone ever puts their hands on you, you let every single person know. You don't feel embarrassed. So maybe that's the conversation that this father needed to have. Maybe that's the conversation a mom needed to have with these girls. That's the conversation we need to have with our kids. We need to say, look, this is your body. This is private. No matter where you go, no matter who you see, no matter how high they are, no matter what their credentials are, no matter where they work, if they're the president, if they're, you know, head of some film company, if they put their hands on you and you don't feel comfortable, if something doesn't feel right, you tell somebody. And even if it does feel right, tell somebody what happened. Tell them, hey, I went to the doctors for this and this is what this guy did. Does it seem right? Because people will go out there. This, I'm sure Larry Nassar said, yeah, I gotta do this and that, and I gotta touch here and I gotta touch there to make sure that your back is straight. I'm pretty sure, I don't know how Larry Nassar sounds, but he's a sleazebag, man. Just a plain sleazebag. So I'm sure he probably used all these terms and probably just said all these scientific things to really make these girls think that he knew what he was doing and that he had to do the things that he did to these girls, and they just took it. And then they probably felt terrible, but they probably thought that he was doing the right thing by them. I mean, just, and then when they do go and tell people that they think that they keep your hands washed. If you don't have to go out, don't go out, because this flu is just killing people left and right. My daughters are like still getting over it. I'm hoping and praying that they don't get, you know, further sick. But it's just bad out there. Every day it seems like there's another article saying that more kids have you know, died from the flu or from complications post-flu. So it's just really bad. So keep your hands washed, keep your mouth closed. I might start wearing a mask when I go out in public places, because I can't take y'all's droplets, man. When you hear about what, like how it's written, like it's transferred from droplets in the air, like that's just disgusting. That means anytime someone talks or spits or coughs or sneezes, those droplets just, I mean, they ricochet. Unless someone sneezes like this, like unless you're sneezing like this, and I highly say if you have to cough or sneeze, do it like this, then your germs are just everywhere, my friend, and you're just spreading the love. So please, if you don't have to be out, if you feel like you're sick in the morning, don't go out. If you feel like you're getting sick in the afternoon or something, go home. No one wants your sickness of any kind. We all got lives to live. We don't need this. So that's all I got for today. I have rambled and talked for too long. Let me know what you think about this father attacking Larry Nassar. Would you have done the same thing if you were in his situation? And do you think that he should have actually served some sort of jail time or been punished for it? Because it's technically, I don't think it's within the law to attack somebody in a courtroom. So let me know your thoughts there, and if there's anything that I missed in the story, or if there are any other stories that I missed and should have covered, I would love to get your thoughts. That's all I got for today. It's Friday, so I'm gonna chill and maybe go to sleep on a Friday night, because that's what dads do. But I will see you all tomorrow, Saturday. So peace out. Super Bowl's a few days away, so I can't wait. Gonna make another Super Bowl prediction. See you guys later. Bye.